Hey guys, welcome back to another Command & Conquer 3 Kane's Wrath video commentary. That's right, we are back here with the grand finals of the 2v2 tournament that was held by GameReplays. And of course, in the grand final, we will have Legend and Alibaster, aka Worker Ant, playing BootyWarrior, which is Wookabert, and Inspire Phoenix playing as GDI. Now, I know what you're thinking. We're looking at this matchup, and you know, Wookabert and Nash are going to be a hard team to beat. About the tournament, I was a little bit disappointed that, again, they had less than half the sign-ups rock up, and it did mean that there weren't a lot of notable teams. The only notable teams I could see was One Vision and Tipsy, who surprisingly didn't get too far. I was kind of hoping, even though I'm not a big fan of them, hoping they got a bit further and to provide some better games for us. Solsdaddle, and which is B3, and Haru Specs, and of course Nash and Phoenix here. Oh, sorry, Nash and Phoenix are the same person. What am I doing? I'm been too long on the score screen here. I'm not going to blur it out because essentially this was probably uploaded by a referee or any of the players. It doesn't matter what happens here, but we're going to be jumping in because we're on Red Zone for some reason. I'm not sure why the grand final is on Red Zone. That just defies logic, and I think it's one of the reasons as well why they're not doing too crash hot. But Wookabert is playing as the red nod player on the top left-hand side, which means Stephen Donald Nashington will be playing as the GDI faction on the top right. That's right, so it's going to be top versus bottom, and if we go down here, it's going to be, I believe this is going to be Legend. I didn't even check the colors again. Yes, it is. It's Legend, which means Worker Ant must be over here. Alibaster, he'll be playing as GDI as well. So 3 GDIs and a nod, and it's Red Zone, and I don't know what you're expecting because they're probably going to rush and probably going to be over pretty quickly. I couldn't imagine a long game happening on this one here just because of the blue tibs, and someone's going to get caught out. But Wookabert just patrolling. Look at this. Did he go shadow teams on Red Zone? He has gone shadow teams on Red Zone. Oh man, is he actually going to get the... Oh, he's going to get the War Factory. Oh my god, I didn't realize that is actually really good, and cancels, and now Worker Ant is in all sorts of trouble. And oh, a comm center comes down. Look at these guys. Is he going to double Orca all in? That's what I could only imagine he's going to do. You could essentially do it probably without even selling your MCV because you got blue Tiberium now. Look at this. Places down the ref and puts the power plant in his ally's base. Worker does, which is very smart because it means that Wookabert won't be able to bomb the next one, because that's what he's looking for. He's looking for the next one. He gets shot up a little bit there, loses one squad member from the shadows. They will be moving away. The problem is, oh look at this, we've actually got Bloodhounds from Nashington here, and he actually drops them on the left hand side. So now Worker Ant is under attack here. Orca's coming in. This Harvester is probably going to die. Legend's double Orca airfield basically needs to win the game right now. And he does have some units here now, but it's going to be tower defense, which will eventually win out as long as the power is up and running. He should really just power micro to get that one going there, and he should be able to destroy the remainder of these units here. But meanwhile, the Orcas are on the way. No, it's Bloodhounds. Bloodhounds here. Oh my god, Nashington's base. Nashington's base. What happened to his base? He's lost everything as well. Nashington is in all sorts of trouble. He's going to find this airfield. He's going to try to bomb it with his shadow teams, which is going to be pretty nasty here. And he comes in. It looks like Nash actually has a refinery over here. I'm not sure if he did that to begin with because I wasn't really paying attention, but nonetheless, Wookabert loses his one and only Harvester, and Nash has one Harvester as well. Worker Ant's in pretty bad condition, but oh, an airfield goes down. The airfield is gone, and he cannot replace it. He cannot replace it. He does not have a comm center, which means these Orcas, I'm not sure how many he's got left. He's only got 1 or 2 by the looks of it. Yeah, he's got 2 here. His Harvester is down. Oh my god, nobody has any Harvesters. No one has any Harvesters. Okay, so we just... And look at this, Worker just came in and sniped down the last units off the deck. And this Scorpion tank is probably going to fall as well. It's going to get focused down pretty quickly. They need to chase it. He can't afford to let this get away. This Orca still has ammunition, so he's going to start focusing down these pit bulls. Oh, he changes targets. That's not necessary. There's no airfield. He should have taken out the Scorpion tank. Oh my god, why did he do that? I don't think Worker Ant realized this. Has anyone got any Harvesters? Yes. Worker Ant has a Harvester. The shadow teams are causing a lot of problems over here, but a refinery is down for Legend. Oh my god, is Nashington and Wookabert going to lose in the opening game on Red Zone? Anything can happen on Red Zone, I guess. That was ridiculous. All 4 players rushed each other. I mean, I guess except Worker Ant, who just essentially got killed by a lot of people. He's got a bunch of pit bulls around, and this game here is going to keep going because Wookabert and Nashington both have a Harvester back out, and they're both sitting on this one defensive base here. Rocket squads are going to make it difficult for the other enemy team to get in there. We have the shadow teams are still alive. Wookabert's going to want to hold on to those because it's really all he's got really left to cause harassment and to scout and to see what's going on. Worker Ant, mind you, does have the EMP spike, so that does belong to him. M Control Center, that's going to come in handy when it cools down. We got beacons up here as well. Wookabert now has a third harvester out. Nashington just a single harvester, and he's trying to get a war factory out probably. He's really far behind right here. It's going to take a long time for him to get back into this game. Wookabert's going to be carrying. Worker Ant now has double harvester, and it looks like we have Legend here. And this might be a second ref. I would have gone for more harvesters first, but we'll have to see what happens. Is he going to go straight back for a comm center maybe? I'm not 100% sure that'd be a good idea. Wookabert now cranking out a few tanks. Double war factory. War factory comes down. They're all just cuddling into this corner, these two guys, knowing that it'd be easy to defend. There's a shadow team here. Looks like the other shadow team may have been taken care of here. I remember seeing it on very low health. We got some pit bulls moving through here, and to be honest, they could probably just start shooting at the MCV. I mean, there's only 6 pit bulls there, but you know, the MCV is totally undefended. Nash now has a second harvester out. But you got to remember, this blue tip field is not actually going to last much longer in this condition, and we have an MCV. Worker must have sold his MCV because it's coming out now, and he might want to deploy that. Yeah, he's actually under attack here. Legend is moving across. Not really necessary to lose a harvester here. He should have pulled this off the line. I'm not sure why he didn't pull it off the line, but nonetheless, he's got his pit bulls coming back now, and he shouldn't rush in like this. He should focus them down, and he actually swaps targets there. 2 Scorpion tanks will fall. A couple of pit bulls get mashed straight away, but Wookabert will be evacuating this area now. Can he focus down some of these tanks? Easy pickings here. He should be able to score at least a few more kills on these tanks, which he will do so. Could even pick off that damage tank there if he wants to. The GDI forces here are numerous. We've got a battle marker over here as well. It's just scouts going into that base there of Legend. Meanwhile, these guys will continue to fight, and we have a game on our hands here right now. Oh man, game 1. I couldn't foresee this coming, so we have a second harvester back out again from Worker Ant here, just trying to recover. He has the EMP control center at his disposal, of course. I would imagine it'd be cooled down by about now. They had to sell off all their bases and co here. Nash now moving across to his base here. This is a problem. They've had a little bit of time to stop Nash from doing this, and they haven't been able to rally anything. Unfortunately, Legend not able to do anything here. He's going back for Orcas, which is very nice. It's going to just be a problem for them. We have pit bulls here as well. EMP blast comes down, so he did decide to use his EMP blast, and it will result in the destruction of most of these tanks here. Those Orcas shouldn't have really wasted rockets on that first tank. That first tank was so heavily damaged, it was just overkill there. But with the help of the Orcas and these pit bulls here focusing down these tanks one at a time, they should be fine. MCV's under attack, but there is a tower spam coming on, so there's 2 fights breaking out. The entire map being utilized now for engagements, and Worker Ant going to make Wook pay as much as possible, takes down as many units as possible, and now Nashington is in a little bit of trouble as well. Tanks being forced back here. Not sure if that Orc is going to be able to claim the kill. Will he have enough ammunition? No, he falls just short. These towers might be able to finish him off if they're in range. Yes, look at that. The tower does get him. Nice work there. And he will be able to focus down this foxhole. Heroic rifleman squads inside that bunker. Yes, please, Worker Ant. But I'll have to see what's going on. What is Wookabert doing? Wookabert has got a double ref on this tip field over here, which is very nice. His economy is coming along just fine. But you got to remember that the problem here at the moment is that Nash has all this blue Tiberium and a double ref here, which means he's going to skyrocket out very shortly. He's actually building a lot more eco, so not planning on building 2 units very much. And look at this, pit bulls coming in, and with the help of the with the help of the pit bulls, I mean the Orcas should be able to actually fire a volley. I'm not sure why they did that. They fired a volley off on. He doesn't actually quite get that harvester. Oh my god, he splits his fire. He does get that harvester. He should get that last one. Oh, he had one more rocket, and he chose not to use it on the right one. Legend there. Oh man, the focus firing was not where it needed to be. One more pit bull comes in and gets destroyed. Worker Ant, though, has a force here. He's got units here. He's got tanks. He's got enough Predator tanks to easily defeat these Scorpions here now. Takes out the wounded one. Very nice work there. Very nice target firing by Worker Ant there. He needs to make sure he finishes off these rockets, though. He has APCs here. There's a few rifleman squads. Oh no, he gives a move order, and that means the rifleman squad stops shooting. Oh man, he shouldn't have done that. He's trying to get a crush off, but the rifleman squad should have been expelled from or excluded from that order. Unfortunately not. And now he's moving into the space. I'm not sure about this. It's getting cluttered. He's not actually doing really a lot of damage. He's just kind of shooting at everything. Meanwhile, another battle marker over here. Looks like Nashington. Oh my god, his harvesters are under attack. He is under attack. He's in big trouble here, and he's targeting the 4 harvesters. Nice work there, Legend. Gets another one. 3 harvesters will go down, and meanwhile, it looks like this base here is under siege. Wookabert forcing to sell off here. He might hold this from Worker. Yeah, Worker Ant. Smart decision to retreat the remainder of these tanks. A few of them will escape there now, but Legend actually good focus firing over here. And Nashington all of a sudden has almost nothing. He's got ref over here, but he was looking really powerful. Being forced to build Guardian cannons, you know you're getting desperate when you see a Guardian cannon out of a pro player. I guess he just needs everything he can to hold this off from Legend here, who's now pushing forward. These tanks probably aren't going to be too helpful. There's a War Factory right here. They should just evac, but they're not going to. Legend, unfortunately, not identifying that that's the case that needs to happen. Second War Factory comes down, Worker Ant is moving back in, the Orcas are here, and they're going straight for the Harvesters, and he does get that one, he should get another one. He's targeting full Harvesters again. Those Orcas do bunch up, but it's not going to be enough. They will be able to take out those full Harvesters. Worker Ant, meanwhile, causing problems over here. Again, sporadic damage, needs to focus these down, needs to focus the buildings down. Wookabert does have a tech center though. EMP Blast comes down, which means Legend is going to be able to move in here. He should be able to clean up most of the tanks. Yeah, look at this, focus firing now is very good. I'm surprised at how good the Worker Ant and what do you call it? Legend are playing. Nash just sold his MCV as well. He's only got one Harvester left by the looks of what I can see. Meanwhile, oh man, Worker Ant is pushing his MCV in here. He's got Wookabert on the ropes. Wookabert has such little economy here right now. He's got a tech center, but I don't think it's going to be able to hold this. A War Factory comes down. Meanwhile, Legend is making a mess of Nash's base. He's going to claim the last Harvester, and look at that. Oh my god, Legend and Worker Ant are actually going to push Nashington and Wookabert out of this game. I did not see this coming. I did not see this game coming. What a crazy game. People are going to be saying, oh, you have to cast Red Zone more often now. No way. There's got to be exceptions to the rules, but Red Zone is an absolute death pit of a map. And it looks like Worker Ant, like I said before, it can make anyone good on this level here. And they're actually going to go one up in here unless somehow Wookabert can hold this off, because Nash, I believe, is just about dead. Actually, Legend actually ran out of forces here. Wow. Legend does not have... He has eco, he's got Orcas. I believe he should be able to hold. This might be a temporary flood here. And Wookabert just sold his MCV, which means no more Obelisk, sold his techs, and he's actually got no production. So there you go. Engineer's actually coming out, so he must have been trying to capture his structures and things like that. But Nash is now fighting alone here. Nash is fighting solo. He did push Legend, but that's what I was talking about. Legend is eventually going to hold. It's just a matter of time. Nash sells up. This could be it. That could be the end of the game. Wow. Nash and Wookabert go down. So I just have to say, well done to Worker and Legend. I mean, the map was obviously a nub map, but they just played better. I mean, they were so aggressive as well. I don't think Wookabert and Nash saw that coming, but nonetheless. So game one will go towards Legend and Worker Ant there. Look at the resources there. Nash just flatlines there, so you can see he was actually getting pretty crazy out of control above here, and then he just flatlined out. So unfortunately for them, so if we check it out, so 132,000 or 104,000. So there you go. Worker and Legend getting a nice slice more, but it was only an 11-minute game, so that's not a big enough difference. But yeah, surprised they didn't harvest more Tiberium. Wookabert, how much did you get, buddy? Only $42,000. So. Very small amount. Kill death ratio very high for the other team, so not going to dwell on the stats too much. You guys can check out the replays if you like, because we're going to jump into game number 2 of this best of 7 series, which again, probably should have said at the start of the video, but best of 7. Here we go. Game number 2 is coming up right now. Okay guys, welcome back to game number 2 in this best of 7 series. We have Nashington playing as Blackhand with BootyWarrior, aka Wookbert, playing as Nod, against Legend playing as Nod, and Worker playing as GDI. Again, anyone could have uploaded the replay, so I'm not going to blur it out. We're going to jump into this game now because it's on Fountain Forest. That's right, Fountain Forest. Oh man, we always see this in tournaments. But we have Wookabert playing as Vanilla Nod, and his ally here, Stephen Donald Nashington, playing as the Black Hands. Yes, he is the Black Hands. And over here, playing as the Nod faction, we're going to see Legend, and he's just going to be Vanilla Nod with his ally, Worker Ant, playing as GDI. On Forgotten Forest. He's probably going to hate me for calling him that all throughout this series. He really doesn't like it. But it's all a bit of fun. Meanwhile, I don't know what's going to happen here. Obviously, it could be open with a rush. I would imagine maybe Nash and Wookabert playing as both Nod factions. They would have some type of rush in mind. I would be expecting maybe some bikes, some reckoners, some flame tanks. Could be a bit of everything in there. Maybe some beam rush. Yeah, I don't think beam rush would. Beam Rush might work on this level. I mean, it works on Hurricane. I've done it before. It's where you basically go, it looks like a Flame Rush because you go War Factory, Op Center, get an extra Harvester out, but then you just build Beam Cannons while your ally builds like your ally needs to be like Traveler or Blackhand or something, so they can build like a bunch of infantry, and then you can just sit from artillery range with the infantry and just destroy their buildings. And it's actually quite powerful, especially if they don't know how to counter it and they haven't seen it before and things like that. But Legend will be going out for a scout, and he doesn't even bother to stop with the Cabals. He's like, see you later guys, just wait here, I'll come back and kill you later. But yeah, bikes are coming out by the Stephen Donald Nashington. Just one bike, so there you go. It's just, oh, actually there's already 2 more out. I did not see that, so he's already got 3 bikes out. He's not going to see what Wook is doing, but Wook is not rushing though. He's not rushing at all, which means it's just 3 bikes. And we'll have to see what Legend's going to do. He's going to construct a single bike of his own. He's probably going to go for a second one. He's a little bit stalled on cash here. He might, he's going to lose that 1 bike straight away. He does get some splash on those bikes here, so 2 of those bikes took damage. And with that, Nash is like, all right, cool, I'm out of here. And these guys here probably going to build a few more bikes, a couple of pit bulls, work and even assisting his ally there with these few pit bulls, which is very nice. It's always good to help your ally there and to make sure they're okay. Double War Factory coming down now. He's double War Factory even before he's got his 4th harvester here, which was why he was stalling for the defensive structures there, and or the defensive units out of the War Factory. I think he needs to get his harvesters up and running though. I mean, you can dual War Factory with just 3 harvesters, but you'll get to the point where you stall a couple of times. So he's going to want to make sure he gets a few extra harvesters here. Yeah, he's stalling at the moment, but he's still going for some bikes. Now, this could catch them off guard. I mean, he's going to have a large number of bikes very early. He's still pumping out bikes from both of these War Factories. Meanwhile, Wook has reached the expansion. He's got a few rocket squads. They're designed to go secure the blue tip field, especially if the garrisons haven't been taken. You've got garrisons there. There's no screen faction on the other side, so the garrison clearers are going to be not very common. Of course, yeah, with screen you've got them all the time. And Ref comes down, power micro as well, so the harvester does not leave the dock area. That's very safe. Wookbert not actually gaining this garrison here. Here comes the stealth harvester though. And we have bikes rushing up here, so Stephen Donald Nashington is going to find these bikes, but his bikes were actually at home as well, which is very lucky. He wasn't caught out of position, and he's not going to lose any harvesters. He will lose a few bikes, I believe. He actually gets a pretty big swing off on that harvester. Legend actually trying to focus that down, but no, it's not going to happen. He's not going to have enough bikes. And a little bit of non-target firing there just does sporadic damage. Nash will clean that up very nicely. Worker and I believe evac'd his pit bulls, which yes, he has done so. But looks like Nash is also getting a slice of the blue crystal as well. Wookabert has left him some. And that harvester will now be returning to base while Nash cleans up the remainder of the field. Should be enough crystal there for a full load of Tiberium. We can see some bikes heading across the top of the map as well towards Legend's base, who still has double War Factory. He does have 5 harvesters now, and as you can see, he's actually fighting Wookabert, who has some bikes here as well, and he will defeat those. Nash comes in for a swing, and he will lose a few bikes, but Legend simply has too much. He's holding both of those bike attacks there. Perfectly comfortable with that there. He's got a lot of bikes. He does not have a refinery on the expansion, but he's fine without. Worker Ant is starting to build himself a notable army. He's even starting to fight on the Tib field there. Nash did get a full load, so he will be evacing here. And look at that. Worker did manage to secure that garrison. Not necessary. Wookabert could have had that, but unfortunately not to be. He will be pulling back with these APCs now. So yeah, Wookabert making he really wants to push him off this field, saying, hey, you know, you can't be here. This is mine. There's really no blue Tiberium left, so it's not really worth committing too much, because yeah, he's actually, I think he overstepped a little bit then, and now Worker Ant just has a lot of reinforcements here, and he will walk through and he will claim the blue Tiberium, but or the blue Tiberium field, but there's nothing there. Worker Ant now, what's happening up here? No, it's not Worker Ant, sorry, it's Legend, who is fighting Stephen Donald Nashington. We can see some decoys in there. I'm not sure whose it is, but I think it might have been Nash's. It's too hard to tell. The fighting is too fast paced for me to take note of that one. More Scorpion tanks will rock up, but AP ammo is done, and to be honest, Worker Ant here can just completely destroy these tanks if he wants to, some of them sitting outside of range. Meanwhile, Legend is starting to move back. It looks like those bikes do belong to Nashington. Yeah, Worker Ant not too fussed about staying here. I mean, he is able to pick off a lot of these Scorpion tanks. He has got a much more powerful force here now. Just make sure all of his units are in range here, because there's 2 Predator tanks in there as well, and they're what is doing a lot of the damage. The rest is just supporting. We've got battle markers up here. Looks like Legend is now defending out the base very nicely, pushes the bikes back once again, and oh, you can actually see this harvester. That's right, because Nash's Black Hand. And there's actually not enough blue Tib crystal here, I think, to warrant going back. I mean, that harvester does have stealth, which is nice. Will he focus down that damaged Scorpion? Yeah, look at that. He will focus it down just to reduce the amount of firepower that Wookabert has. But there's 4 Predator tanks versus 4 Scorpions. Now 5 Scorpions, 5 Predator tanks. That's not going to work out too well. Oh, geez, there's an army moving across here. Nash is moving in with Dozer-bladed Scorpion tanks. There is a decoy army here. But Legend only has bikes, and he's force firing the ground, which is a bit of an error there. He's moving through now. He needs his own Scorpion tanks. He's constructing them now, but can he hold this? Mantis coming in. I'm not sure what they're for. I think they thought maybe there was going to be some air units here, but the fight in the north, in the south has died down, and Nashington is moving into this field. Looks like Worker Ant Kane is also bringing some tanks along for the party. Can they hold on here? Legend not moving any of his harvesters away. There's a lot of destruction happening here at the moment. I can't even see what's going on. So what is going on? There's too much fire and debris to see what's happening. I can see harvesters. Yeah, harvesters are falling now, which is not too good. And Nash is going to decide to fall back here. He doesn't have that many tanks left, but Wookabert has tanks here now, and Nash could make another conceded push here. We got beacons happening down here. Not sure what that is. It looks like harvester might have been jammed or something, but Nash will regroup with Wookabert. Wookabert yet to get the dozer blades out, and Legend will hold with the help of a few predator tanks from Worker Ant. Legend only has one ref on his expansion, and he has tier 3, but oh no, he does. He's got 2. Sorry, did not see that. So we have got a pretty big game on our hands. A lot of Scorpion tanks though. There are a lot of Scorpion tanks here. Worker Ant, you need to back off, buddy. You need to retreat slowly from this area. There's Scorpion tanks closing in, and this is going to be pretty tight right now. We have a big tank battle here, but there's not a lot of maneuvering going on. A Reclamator hub comes down. He sells it immediately. Oh my god, he had to sell it for the Zone Troopers. Now, actually, that did a lot of damage. The Zone Troopers actually tearing through them. He needs to jump jet away before... Oh, nice jump jet there. Nice jump jet, and he will actually... I believe should be able to hold this. I mean, a lot of Scorpion tanks have gone down, but the force here, the defensive force, has also been somewhat evaporated. But there is an obelisk here, but it was not placed behind a structure, which has now been done, but too much damage came down. Scorpion tank still continuing to move through this base area. He needs a second obelisk, and he needs smart placement of this one. These Scorpion tanks starting to destroy these structures here, and he's got an avatar out. He might want to just stealth and try to crush if he can. Sells the ref off, which actually was guarding the obelisk here, so he does get a crush off, and he gets behind the war factory. That's nice, just drawing fire here, causing problems for him. Looks like there's nothing happening down south, so we're going to stick on this area here. We got a mine drop come down, but he does have dozer blades, so that's not actually going to do really anything. Another avatar will come out of this war factory. Will he get a few crushes off? I believe he should. Yeah, he's just going to go for the crush, and look at that, getting a couple of Scorpion tanks straight away. There is a Sonic emitter there as well. He's going to turn around and start firing at these tanks, but the problem is there's just too many tanks, and he's getting fired from a 360-degree angle here. Meanwhile, avatars are moving to this base at Texas. I'm not sure what happened to it, but it's taking a lot of damage. Worker Ant has actually nothing down here to defend this. Oh my god, he's got nothing down here to defend this. His thing will fall. We've got a Tib Vein come down, a Tib Vein, which means Nashington will lose a majority of his tanks here. So that kind of saved them somewhat, but he still has tanks left over. Nashington does have a base up the top. Worker Ant is being defeated down the bottom. His whole army was redirected to the top to defend. There's stealth tanks down here as well. And this game, they are running away with it. As you can see, they've got an economy on the middle field as well. And they just have more eco. They have more punch. They have more units here. And they're able to do the damage. Will Worker Ant get his Marv out? Yes, I believe he will get the Marv out. But is it going to save him? Meanwhile, Legend is in a world of pain. He has no power. He needs power right now, and he doesn't have it. And he had to sell, and he still has. He's got power there for one more shot. He might get another shot before he loses it. No, he doesn't. Oh, actually, that tank blew up. I'm not sure if that was from the obelisk. Maybe a delay in the animation there. The Marv is here. It is fighting. We got a jet coming in, and we have, we have the vapor bomb, which almost wrecks. Another Tib Vein goes off as well. That would have been casted by Wookabert and or Nashington, just to do damage. Look at that. Yeah, they've got so much money now that these guys here are collapsing. Legend, I believe, has been defeated, so it's going to be Worker Ant fighting solo. He'll probably fight until the Marv is dead, but there's even stealth tanks are actually firing at the Marv, so there we go. It goes down now. But yeah, just brute force there, overwhelmed them. It was actually a good game to that point there, but I believe that Legend didn't transition quick enough, which was unfortunate. They actually played pretty well against these guys, but of course the experience paid off there, getting those extra expansions up. And there's really not much more to say. So Nashington getting a ton of units there, by the way. He did get quite a lot of units. But yeah, nonetheless, that was a pretty good game. Yeah, Eco, they just ran away with it. What can you say about this one here? We'll have a look at the damage done. 229,000, 153,000. That's too much. That's almost $80,000 more in a game that went for 10 minutes. That's too much of a gap for these guys. They fought well. They did good work, always with a high kill death ratio. I'll have a look at see what his allies was. 0.96, still pretty good. And but yeah, they destroyed a lot of units, but unfortunately they just ran out of eco and weren't able to match the eco their opponents. But yeah, that's going to level the series 1-1. I won't dwell on the stats too much because it is a best of 7. It could go for a long time. So we're going to jump into game number 3 coming up right now. Okay guys, welcome back to game number 3 here, and we are on, what are we on? Suburban Arena? Jeez, have I casted on? I'm pretty sure I've casted Suburban Arena before. You guys must be familiar with it, but it's basically the 2v2 version of Tournament Arena. Really not much more to say than that, but we have Nashington playing as the Black Hand, and we have Wookabert playing as Nod, GDI Nod for Legend as well, so all the same factions, which is very nice, very neat. If we jump over here, Wookabert will be playing as the Red Nod faction on the bottom side. Now, if you don't know the map, there's a spike in the corner, And there's also a garrison here. There's a bunker here. There's no spike, and there's a bunker in the middle. And then same up the top. You've got your spike over there. So Stephen Donald Nashington will be starting on the top left-hand side here. He will be going to grab that, which means I believe we'll have Worker Ant. No, this is going to be Legend, I believe. Yes, Legend is going to be playing as the Nod faction on the top right. Everyone going to secure their spike. Worker Ant playing as the orange GDI down the bottom. And we are going to see who's going to get to the middle first. It looks like, wow, Wookiebert, even though he's got one of the slowest scouts in the game, is going to actually get there first. I believe he just obviously intended to go there first. So Worker Ant could have taken that, and he will not actually pay attention here. Will he lose his scouting squad? That's unfortunate. No, manages to keep it alive. It's obviously heavily diminished. He's actually going to dig a foxhole now. Probably not worth it. I'd probably go scout now. Obviously, it's a very small map. It's probably one of the smallest 2v2 maps there is. And it looks like it as well. If you look at the mini-map, it is reasonably small. I mean, it's not like tiny, red zone tiny, but it's small. And it's obviously what it favors base pushing like hell. It does a lot of base pushing, artillery, tanks of course at the start of the game, but I just find because of the base pushes, artillery becomes more important later on. But yeah, tanks are still going to overwhelm someone on this level here. Again, tanks love the flat areas, but because of the small map and the base pushing, it makes artillery very, very viable in the late game here. And nice work from Worker Ant here to get into his enemies or his opponent's base. Could dig a foxhole here just to be nasty. I actually built a pit bull as well, so maybe just in case he didn't get his scout in. But he will be digging that foxhole, and that will grant him vision. And it's important that you put it into a position where you can see the war factory, because then you can see what kind of production units he's building. Is he building eco? Is he building tanks? And he's put it behind this refinery as well, which means nothing can shoot at it as it comes out. Let's have to go around and dig it out, which he's actually going to do, but it's just a nice little thing you can do just to cause a bit more frustration. We have a Raider buggy out here that does belong to Stephen Donald Nashington, I believe. Is that supposed to be blue? No, that's purple. That belongs to Legend. Wow, this is going to be awkward. Purple versus blue. Okay, we seem to be running into these matchups a lot in this tournament. Pink versus purple, purple versus blue, colors that are impossible to tell apart. Whose spikes are who? I mean, I can see who it is if I look closely, but you know, it's just like I'm not blind or anything. I can definitely tell them apart. But when they're right next to each other, yeah, sometimes you can mistake certain bikes for other people's. And this Raider bike, you might have to evac there. Legend just expanding a few bikes on Nashington. What you can do on this level is that you can actually expand on the forward field first. That way, if any base pushing happens, by the time it happens, you'll have harvested the whole field, and then you'll have a nice safe field, which is what I prefer to do actually. Worker Ant has got a ref there, but no, everyone's just done a normal game here. Obviously easy to defend this at the start. Legend, will he pull that harvester? He kind of needs to pull that harvester off the line, not pulling it off the line. Oh geez, he could have got it around a war factory, maybe even saved it, but that's the thing. If you don't micro your harvesters, you're just going to lose them. More bikes coming now. Wookiebert is double teaming Legend. Legend is in a lot of trouble here. He's got a few Scorpion tanks here. Legend is now beaconing, begging for Worker to help him. These few Scorpion tanks are not getting fired at, but yet finally moves the harvesters. That's just a critical error there. I can't say anything else than that. Just not moving any harvesters. He could still be shooting at the first harvester if he was microing it around a war factory, but now he's down to his last harvester, so 4 harvesters getting destroyed there. Not something you really want to see, and Legend is basically out of the game. He's got no harvesters. Worker Ant is going to be fighting solo here. Is he going to be able to do something about this? Is he attacking? No, he's not doing anything at the moment. He's trying to go across to help his ally, but it's a bit too late. Guardian Cannon comes down. That's really unfortunate. I mean, Legend knew that was coming, and he didn't do anything about it. I mean, the skill level showing a bit here, especially since Wookiebert decided to join the party as well. Worker Ant is very solid with the GDI, I must admit. He's always got forces on the map, and he's always able to cause a lot of damage to his opponent and always push them off. Like if he wants an area, he can take it. He's shown that he can take the areas, but he's got double ref, so his eco is actually the best in the game right now. So I guess that makes up for the fact that Legend is kind of screwed. He's got 1 harvester, needs a second one ASAP. Worker could sell off a few of these structures here. A few bikes coming through now. He's got a couple of Scorpion tanks to help defend himself, beaconing up over here. He can see the man spam. Alibaster, I believe, has spotted that as well. No, did he beacon that? Is that supposed to be red? Yeah, that's red. Geez, that beacon. Dat beacon. But he's coming forward now. Scorpion tanks with infantry is always a hard thing to get rid of, because it really mitigates the crushing. Hopefully Worker Ant is working on his AP ammo. There's not that much infantry here, so he should be fine. He's putting down the towers, which is good, because you know, if you put the towers down just as the infantry's arriving, that's not really very good. And look at that, nice work there. He pulls a harvester straight away, and the bike's back off. So there you go. That's what it should be like. Sending these harvesters back to work as well. This one here just recalled it to dock, but he is going to fight these forces over here. These bikes are causing problems. AP armor is only about a quarter of the way done, but there we go, pulling the harvester again. Worker Ant, I have to admit, a decent amount of praise for this this guy here, and maybe if he had a slightly better ally, but not dishing Legend. He did play very well in the first game, of course, and did decent in the second game as well. But it looks like Worker Ant will hold this force here. What's happening up here? Oh my god, it looks like he's in a lot of trouble. That Guardian Cannon now coming in handy, just destroying these forces here. But it looks like he only rebuilt. Oh no, he's got 2 harvesters now. A third harvester comes out, but he's under attack. Worker Ant is going to have to respond to that. He's moving his forces now, but he's very slow. He's only got Predator tanks here, and meanwhile Legend is still losing forces here. I'm not sure that Hammerhead must belong to Worker Ant here, and he's going to come in. He might want to target those bikes down first because they're very easy to kill, but he's not going to be able to do that, unfortunately. If he killed the bikes, he could have regained his stealth tech on the harvesters, and then they would have been fine. Double Guardian Cannon, there you go, actually fighting the line here. But once again, Legend has lost all of his harvesters there. AP armor is done. There's a big imp, there's a patch of imp here. I don't think this Hammerhead's going to be able to take it out by himself. No, he's going to get destroyed. But the towers are going to start coming down. In range of the flame, not a good idea. You might want to put that outside the flame range. Meanwhile, bikes are back here. He's trying to pull the harvesters. People are responding. Good response here from Workaround. He's going to lose a harvester because he's being pulled in a little bit too many directions right now. But he's going to cut some of these bikes off here, and he's going to make him pay for getting that harvester kill. He's going to clean up all the bikes, which is very nice. Workaround doing very well. Redeem those coming out. This game is slipping away from the team on the right hand side just because Legend is at tier 1. He has no harvesters. He sold his MCV because he had to, and that's really going to inhibit Workaround, by the way, because he cannot place base defenses up here now. He's got a couple, which I believe he's just going to leave there because he kind of has to. But I mean, if he can expand and take his allies field, maybe he can pull something out of the bag. I mean, GDI is one of those factions. If you can get enough forces, they can become really, really powerful. I mean, they have literally the best armor in the game and the best artillery in the game as well. So they can be hard to get rid of once they're rolling, but they need a lot of it. Oh, they need a decent amount of it as well, especially since what he's going to be facing against as well. We've got rockets inside this bunker as well. These pitbulls just trying to skirt by it as well. I think they're just going to go in to scout just to see what these guys have. Wookiebert has taken up a lot of Tiberium in this game. Nash now making some dents on his expansion field, but Workaround's got a little bit of time before he gets pushed. There's a small bunch of infantry down here, but to be honest, he's probably going to be okay to defend that. There's a bunch of APCs which could easily respond to that once he, look at that, spots it straight away. He's going to go respond. Meanwhile, these guys here running over the tip field. Now, Workaround's got probably about 1 or 2 minutes before he gets hit by something huge. And he's going to have to make sure he gets the Marv out. He's going to have just enough time to get the Marv out, but he's going to need Juggernauts as well. And here we go. Legend is going to get pushed. There's beam cannons coming in. Actually, it's probably not going to get 2 minutes. He's probably going to get no more than like 10 seconds now. He's under attack. He needs the stealth technology that his ally could offer him, but he's not going to get it, unfortunately. And I think he's going to click him. I think he's going to click in the beam cannons now. They're kind of just firing at everything. Spectre artillery comes down. It is firing at the Reclamator hub, but I don't think it's going to be able to do enough damage. There's no double A here, which means he's going to be able to focus these down the APCs along with the hammerheads there. And he does spot that stealth tank now getting shot at. He does do a fair bit of damage to that, but it's not going to be enough. The Marv will get out of the Reclamator hub. Meanwhile, Legend, I believe, is almost all but finished. He's building bikes. He's really got nothing to defend against that. And yeah, unfortunately, this game here is slipping away. It was such a good game played by Workaround. I feel for him as well because Legend, I think, really let him down this game. Not being too critical of Legend, obviously he's not the greatest player going around, but still he should have been able to competently defend himself a bit better than what actually happened there. He literally let himself get destroyed too easily, and now Legend is out of this game. I believe he has been defeated. Yeah, he's got no structures or anything like that. Shockwave of some kind must have come down there, but the Marv has taken simply too much damage here. Are there any stealth tanks remaining? No, there's no stealth. Yeah, there's a stealth tank still just chilling here, which means these hammerheads aren't going to be able to do too much. The Marv now just about to go down, and unfortunately now Worker Ant is completely broken because he's getting attacked from every single direction, and that is going to be game number 3. It could have been a lot better game. I was a bit disappointed. That game had potential, but unfortunately with Legend falling there, not going to be the case. Just grab myself a quick drink. It's pretty hot here. I might have to put the air conditioner on. But yeah, look at that. That says it all. I mean, and look at that. Worker got the most resources. He got the most resources. They could have had that game if Legend had been able to even capably defend himself. And again, I'm being super critical of Legend. I do apologize to Legend. I know he's doing his best, but still, you look at that defense there, and yeah, you got to question it. But we have this game here: 9 minutes 30 seconds, almost 10 minutes, 160,000. Yeah, but if we look at Workaround, he got $90,000, which was a lot more, 23,000 to the dot to Legend there. But 1.7 kill death ratio. Well done to Worker, player of the game there, but nonetheless, it's going to put them 2-1 down. So Wookabert and Nash 2-1 up. Stay tuned to my channel. Game number 4 coming up right now. Okay, guys, welcome to game number 4 between Legend and Workaround. Wow, I'm just introducing them in random order now. Against Inspire Phoenix and BootyWarrior, aka Wookabert. Double GDI for Worker and Legend. Double Black Hand for Inspire Phoenix and Nashington. Same person, Inspire Phoenix and Wookabert. Wookabert's on the top north here of Downtown Dust Bowl. That's right, it's downtown. Downtown. But anyway, it's a 2v2 version of obviously of Tournament Dust Bowl. It's got some notable changes, more tib, different terrain, stuff like that, different buildings. But it's going to be the left hand or the top left versus the bottom right. We're going to see this is probably going to be Workaround, I believe. Yes, it is Workaround down the bottom here, and that means his ally Legend over here. Another map where you can rush the hell out of your opponent. But again, it has got the potential to go late game. If you can survive, if every player is able to take an expansion, then you can get a long game. Or if at least 2 of the players on opposing teams are able to get an expansion, you can have a longer game. But other than that, someone's probably going to get rushed. Now, Nashington did go for power plants first, so he could draft. Obviously, there's no point getting a barracks, not unless you really badly want that EMP spike. But yeah, it's probably something you could get later on down the track, to be honest. It's just such a handy support power to have that EMP. But you know, you got to commit to it at the start, especially when you might actually be dead by the time you get to use it if you get rushed. But Worker Ant will be able to clean up that scout. He waits for the enemy scout before he scouts. Now, this is interesting because he's pitbull scouting. He's like, all right, cool. I don't need to draft any scouts. I can save all the money I need, and then I'll just pit scout, which makes sense. But look at this. He's got bikes. Nashington has built bikes. And there is a flame rush coming. We saw the operations center here. And this is actually very tricky, very strategical by Nashington. He's tricked him into thinking there's bikes. He's like, all right, cool. I don't need to scout. I'm getting hit by bikes. Wookabert probably have some bikes as well. No, it doesn't look like he's got bikes. He's got double ref, so he might just be going for the standard eco build. But the Reckoner is out. It has double flame in it as well. And these pit bulls, oh, they're not going to see this coming. They're not going to see this coming. And the ref is pretty close to the War Factory here. And there's only 2 pit bulls. He needs Predator tank out now because he's not going to stop the Reckoner. It's way too close. Oh, geez, he's actually moving away. Nashington is drawing his fire. Oh, man, Worker Ant is going to get hit for 6 here. He is going to get hit for 6. And look at that. Whoa, Nashington, he could have deployed on the other side, which means he's going to be able to claim the War Factory. But I believe that may be it. And he's going to try to rush out an Engineer, but it's not going to be quick enough. Look how quick that is going down. Yeah, the Engineer simply too slow. Might even be able to flame the Engineer down unless he gets out of range. He's going to have to move these pit bulls back because they're the only thing he's got to, and I'm not sure why he placed that there. That's just going to be a flame down. That was pretty silly, but he needs a second War Factory down right now. What's happening on the other side? Looks like Bike's getting cleaned up. Legend now doing just fine. Wookabert now going into man spam, but we'll keep an eye down here. We got Elite, what do you call it, Black Hand, and he's got 2 Elite Black Hand. Oh, this is not going out too well. He should have been able to prevent that. I don't know why there was no silo blocking, and now he's in. What is that? Oh my god, you're going to silo block your Engineer? Okay, yes, you need to silo block your MCV, otherwise this game is over right now. And I don't know why he hasn't placed down another War Factory. Yeah, he just doesn't seem to have any. Oh man, Worker Ant is crumbling. He's crumbling. Where's the War Factory? He should have had one up about 10 seconds ago, but he does not have one. Being a little bit super critical here, but he's getting ripped to shreds. He's got 1 pit bull to try to defeat these Black Hand, and now he can put down the towers. But he's putting down. Why has he got 4 power plants? Okay, he's got 4 power plants. He only needs 1 at this stage of the game, but he's got 4 just in case. I think the Harvest is now being pulled off the line to respond, which is good. But Nashington is just using this to get so far ahead. I'm not sure what the barracks is for. Yeah, now he's got Heroic Black Hand in his base. Look, this tower. Look at this. The Black Hand isn't even dying to the tower. It's actually regenerating faster than the tower can destroy it. Look at this. The tower can't actually do any damage. It's not even. Its health isn't even moving here. And he's actually got a second Heroic Black Hand squad. The Harvester not actually powerful enough to kill them either with its machine guns. Meanwhile, the man spam is real, and he has no AP ammo, and it's a long way from being done. Wookabert completely jumped Legend here. These guys here are falling to bits. Oh man. Oh, sorry, Worker and Legend, but you know, you're kind of begging for that one there. You should have been able to stop that, especially this Reckoner. I don't know what is going on, because now Nashington has got double War Factory Scorps. You're going to have a bad time. That Flame Squad is still alive in his base. Legend lost his MCV. AP Hammer is not going to finish, and this whole area is going to go down. Not sure what the Hammerheads were for. He could have just tower defensed his way to victory there and blocked with the barracks. Now he has nothing but un-AP ammo APCs. Legend is pretty much out of the game. Workaround finally has a War Factory, and he sells his MCV here, but I'm not sure what good that's going to do. His ally is going to fall momentarily. Pulls the Harvesters off the line because it's a tournament, and you have to fight with everything you've got. But yeah, unfortunately, that was just simply too easy. No scouting, got hit. I mean, they should have expected that. Double Blackhand, don't scout. They might as well just have exited the game because this was going to happen. Legend now just selling up. He really has nothing left to hold. This Workaround now is surrounded by Scorpion tanks here, and they take out that Predator that comes out. They're just like, they don't even care about that right now. They're trying to focus down these Harvesters. They are getting repairs, but Legend has been defeated now, which means that Workaround is fighting alone, and with his Harvesters getting destroyed, and now Wookabert will turn his attention to him. Wookabert doesn't have much of a base. He must have sold off a ton of crap to support that in-push. I guess it was basically all in. He probably has a War Factory, probably has an MCV, because yeah, he's got double ref, which is basically all he has. He's sold everything off. And Workaround fighting down to the last building here, but no, that's going to be it. He's got a power plant left, probably doesn't realize that it's there, but Nashington's just going to completely bypass these foxholes, and he's going to go straight for that power plant and just end it. And they're going to take a 3-1 lead in this series. Oh man, the last two games, oh man, they dropped them too easy. That one there was even easier than before, but yeah, improper response, no scouting, and yeah, unfortunately that's the way it goes. 5 minutes 50, there's no even point looking at the stats there. That was a complete thrashing of what we just saw there, so which is once again is unfortunate, because look at that, Legend was actually ahead in economy. So there you go, but game number 4 is gone, 3-1 in favour of Nash and Wookabert. It's a best of 7, which means they just have to win one more, which means Legend and Worker, they have to win 3 in a row. Can they do it? Can they bring the series back? We'll have to wait and see. We'll jump into game 5. Could be the last game, or it could be the start of a comeback. Stay tuned, game 5 coming up right now. Okay guys, welcome back to game number 5 in this series here. Wookabert notably has changed to Reaper 17. Nashington has switched to GDI, whereas Legend has gone GDI, and Worker has gone Nod. We are on Tournament, sorry, not Tournament Dunes, Forgotten Dunes. Yes, Forgotten Dunes, that's right, Forgotten Dunes. I'm a bit surprised that, I mean, obviously you'd expect Worker and Legend to pick just stock standard maps. You know, they picked what do you call it, Downtown Dust Bowl. They picked Dunes. They did pick Suburban Arena, which is a bit unusual. But you would think they try to get them on a level where they got a chance, because on this level here, this level is played so much, and Wookabert and Nash are just gonna, I think they're just gonna tear them to shreds on this level. I think it was a very bad decision to pick this level here, but Workaround will be playing on the right hand side here. He'll be as the vanilla Nod faction this time, so he'll be playing as Nod for the first time in the series, I believe, unless I'm mistaken. Legend will be playing as GDI on the right hand side here as well, which means Wookabert playing as Reaper. There you go, he did mix up his faction there. And we got Nashington playing as GDI for Nils. We're going to have scouts facing off there. Oh man, look at that. I mean, Legend did get the first shots, but then his scout stopped shooting for a moment, and that has given Nash the victory there in the arms race. He did get a scout down here, so he's got the foxhole, which is fine. Doesn't have the garrison here at the moment. Not terribly important to actually have that. He's probably moved out elsewhere. No, he doesn't have any other scouts, so there you go. But these guys, one of them's going to have to send a scout. I would imagine that Worker Ant has built a raider buggy. Yeah, he does have a raider buggy, and he's just going to come through. He's probably got time to stop and kill these guys here as well. These guys are going to try to foxhole, and I don't think he's going to be able to stop them. No, not able to stop them. There is a mound here. You can see it's a big mound, which means those riflemen have to move over to get shot at, and unfortunately they are going to move across. Another pitbull here from Nash, just going to counter scout these guys, see what's going on. And we have the raider buggy coming in, just seeing that Nash is ecoing just as normal. Wookabert also ecoing and going for the expansion. Could pick at the drone ship, but the raider buggy not terribly damaging. Is Worker rushing? Worker is rushing. There's something out there. It could be a Reckoner. I don't know where it is. There's definitely something out there. Worker Ant only has one refinery, and they've beaconed. It's probably, I'd have to say it's a Reckoner. It could be bikes. I can't see where it is on the radar. It's probably a tiny speck. Where is it? There's got to be something out there. Is it in the base already? No, it's not in the base. They're looking for it. You can see they're looking for it. Nash is looking for it. I'm looking for it. I'm observed. I can't even find it. Maybe this is the biggest fake of the century. I'm not 100% sure, but there is... Worker Ant couldn't have possibly expanded off one ref. He's got 4 harvesters. I'm not sure why. That's a terrible ratio. He might as well go get blue tib. This is actually a huge fake. I don't believe there is anything. I literally cannot find anything. And Wookabert and Nash have now built a bunch of pitbulls and a bunch of seeker tanks, and they're searching like crazy for something. They're not going to find anything. Worker Ant has faked them out, so maybe that was intentional. I don't know. He's 5-2, so I guess that 4th harvester makes sense now, assuming he'd had that refinery down in time. But yeah, wow, they got, I can't believe that Workaround was able to actually successfully play that kind of mind trick on them. And look at this, Legends actually expanded forward. Now this is probably good for them to actually have a forward expansion this early in the game, because they can harvest it, and by the time it gets late game, there'll still be a lot of Tib left on this field. It'll just be Workaround enjoying this field by himself for the time being. He could even take the tower, but look at this, Predator tanks working their way across the map. Legend is not really going to take this one slow by any means, and these Seeker tanks will actually get shot up down here as well. He should be able to get at least one, probably could even chase, get the second. Beacon over here, he sees the tanks, but he's going to need a Rax. A portal and a barracks come down as well, so too. It looks like Wookabert, super greedy, 2 harvesters to the blue field. Oh, there's disintegrators coming out. He might have to back off here unless he's got some APCs coming, which he doesn't. And these Predator tanks are getting fed. Oh man, what is he doing? What is he doing? He's moved his tanks way out into this area, and now there's no anti-infantry for them. And they're also getting cut off by these Seeker tanks as well. That's unfortunate. A few tanks getting thrown away there. Workaround getting a crush there. 3 tanks taking damage. They actually get a harvester, which is nice. But there is a Raider buggy here which is able to kill some of these guys. But Pitbull's coming down here now. And these Predator tanks do have a lot of armor, so they will be able to tank quite a bit before going down. But they will go down eventually, I believe. They will fight this area here, not actually being focused. So these guys will move through with Pitbulls and with APCs. Workaround is going to have to try to defend this solo. He's got a couple of Scorpion tanks. He actually sold his War Factory there. I'm not sure why he did that. Maybe to just pump out as many rockets as possible. He made some split decisions there, but the enemy actually backed off. Nash actually committed, but he just pretty much lost everything there. Looks like a few towers coming down from Legend to help him out, but he has got his forces over here. Nash is double War Factory, but there's not enough Predator tanks to pressure this area. Nash is just going to move back behind the War Factory here, and he's going to be just fine. He can't really just afford to just throw 4 tanks away like that, because Nash is just going to do this all day, and now they're going to get trapped, and they're not going to be able to retreat. That's unfortunate here. These tanks aren't going to be able to achieve too much. They might get a kill, at least make something worthwhile, but again, he's going to lose up to 5 Predator tanks here for just 1, and that means Nash. I mean, Nash has got Predator tanks as well, which means it's dead even, so he's going to get pushed. He's trickle feeding. He realizes now that this is a terrible decision. He's moving his MCV. He's got double ref down. Wow, Legend, you have really ballooned out. Infantry are here. They might be able to take out the Harvester, but no, he evacs it, doesn't get all the blue tip he wants, and Workaround pushed him off this field. Wow, maybe they've got something going here, but this is the thing, because he threw so many of his tanks away, he now doesn't have enough to contest Nash, and his tanks are actually getting complete. He's got no force multiplier here. It's like 8 tanks versus 3. He needs to get back to where he has more tanks. And I don't know why he's placing War Factory here. This is just going to be destroyed as soon as this is done. He'll be able to hold here for a while, but yeah, Legend. And look at this, tanks coming from everywhere now. What do you call it? Nashington has this completely under control. He's being forced to put down the racks. And these tanks getting completely destroyed the second they come out of the War Factory just about. Look at that, it's not working out well for him. Double racks is coming down, but he's moving beyond this area here. That stealth tower could have been placed a little bit more defensively. And he's got the repair drones coming down. Wookabert putting repair drones down. Workaround may have to assist his ally here because he's getting completely overrun by tanks. And now with the repair drones here, it's going to be pretty hard. Look at this really long line of attack here. And now he's got tripods coming in, Seeker tanks coming in, and Legend just has no army here at all. And yeah, I can't help but feel he's got no one to blame but himself for that one. They're just completely throwing away dozens of tanks at the start of the game for almost no game here. And he's actually getting completely destroyed now. Workaround is trying to respond, but he's so far away from his ally here. He managed to put down a few barracks, and he's got a decent amount of infantry here. It looks like Nash is actually going to back off from this area here, so Legend will somehow survive for the time being. Wookabert trying to make a move for the center. He's got tripods. Do they have their upgrades? No, not quite. He will scare these guys away, so they will push them back for now, but I think Nash is just regrouping just until he has air. And then he's just going to go back in and kill him, no point. He's playing very conservatively doing that. But yeah, Legend needs an MCV, and he needs one now. A few infantry squads here, but looks like Worker pulled the majority of them back. And he's going to come to this middle field now. He's going to find a storm column, not terribly effective against the infantry. And they should be able to destroy that in due course. Workaround now moving, has full upgrades for infantry. He could have probably taken that out, to be honest. But he does decide to fall back here. He's got a lot of Tiberium at his disposal. Not really managing his harvesters too well there. So a lot of them are going back. He hasn't sold up or moved any of his harvesters there because he's too busy. But Legend does have a decent amount of eco here, and he does get an MCV out now. He needs an army, and he needs one fast because Nash could come back at any moment. He's got a lot of hammerheads. He's probably going to make a move any moment now. And these guys here, Workaround does have the stealth towers. He's got the right idea. He's got quite a number of them here. A few towers could be sold off here, not necessary to retain all of those. Seeker tanks moving down here. Workaround spots in advance, though, moves some Scorpions into position. and he's going to be able to destroy most of these Seeker tanks. Looks like the rest of them are still going to try to make a move into this base area here, and some of them will be destroyed. Yeah, there's only a couple of Seeker tanks left, most of them very heavily damaged. A beacon up here as well, and the Hammerheads have just completely jumped Legend. He has no AA, he's building nothing but tanks, and he has to switch to pit bulls, but to be honest, the Hammerheads are just going to insta-destroy those ones right now. He needs a comm center, which I don't believe he has, no. Without a comm center, he's not going to hold this. It's not possible. Workaround sending him some AA, which is nice, but he's just going to move away from the AA. The Harvesters probably should have turned back around. Yeah, they will turn around now. Workaround not making much progress up on the bottom side here because he's too busy trying to assist his ally. Puts the comm center down, but that was a particularly dangerous area considering it's right where these Hammerheads are. He could just snipe that down. He will lose a few more of these Hammerheads. I'm not sure which one that's even shooting at, but he will take that one down. Might want to try to focus that heavily damaged one. Gets the refinery as well, which means he has no refineries left. He might as well put his harvesters next to his war factories for repairs. Yeah, these guys here. I think Wookerbert now is just running away with it. He's getting his upgrades. He's got shields. He's not getting. He's getting conversion reserves by the looks of it. Slingshot's now chasing these Hammerheads around. But yeah, their job is done. He cheesed him pretty hard there, and he destroyed what he needed to destroy. And these Hammerheads probably going to go back for repairs because they're pretty badly damaged right now. But yeah, Nashington and Wookbert have somewhat control of this game here. Workaround still has a fighting force, but what is he going to do if they decide to push forward? He really needs a Redeemer, and he needs Obelisks. He needs a lot more than what he's got. He doesn't have enough right now. He had to put a lot of AA down for his ally, who now does have a refinery, but Nashington's getting Juggernauts. He's not going for railguns, surprisingly. He could go for railguns. He's got an Orca out as well, maybe for stealth detection. Yeah, he built one just to get the pods, so you can put the pods on the tanks. That's basically all he got it for. It's a really good way to scout as GDI, or to reveal stealth. Few slingshots getting chewed up, and we got sniper teams coming in. We have sniper teams coming in because we have the long-range bombard ability coming down, and they will be destroying this area here. I'm not sure where the sniper teams are. They're actually over here, and he had to move them, which is unfortunate. If you move the sniper team, it cancels the bombardment. They cannot move. There's actually some Scorpion tanks. Wow, some Scorpion tanks down here. That's fine. Looks like Wookebert is now making a move. Look at this army. How's he supposed to fight that? Fully upgraded Shard Walkers. He didn't actually get conversion reserves. He got Blue Shard. Tib Vane goes off, but it doesn't really hit the army. It slices. It actually killed quite a number of those units there, but it's not going to be enough. Nash making a move for the top field as well. And we have the Juggernaut Bombard now over here. There's a sniper team here, and these Juggernauts just bombarding from home because why the hell not? And there goes the MCV. Meanwhile, Workaround is completely falling to bits. There's an iron cannon from Stephen Donald Nashington here. He does not even care right now. And this whole force here will go down. So Workaround and Legend, unfortunately, they looked good at the start. The first game was great, and the second game was still pretty good. But the third game could have been really good, but had potential. But then, yeah, the fourth and fifth game completely fell to bits. And in the third game there, what Legend is. And both players have now just surrendered in this fight. So, oh, well done to Nashington and to Wookebert for winning that tournament. Again, a bit disappointed with the turnout there, but nonetheless, they have won a tournament. Congratulations to those guys. Congratulations to Workaround and Legend for getting here as well. I can't help but feel that maybe B3 and Haru Specs could have done a better job of that if they made it through. Not much to say about that game there. Legend threw away too much of his army, and he put Worker in too much of a deficit there. Worker not actually getting that much money. Maybe could have done a bit better job on his economy, but nonetheless, hope you really enjoyed this series. I'm not going to dwell over these stats too much. I'm Green Zero. Stay tuned to my channel, and I'll see if I can bring you some more Kane's Wrath video content as soon as possible.